Greetings and welcome to episode 286 of the Words About Games podcast, the weekly news and culture discussion podcast for words about games. I am your host, Amy K. Alexander, and I am joined this week, as most weeks, by David Moody, the best in the world, apparently.
Enough talk. It's time for the final main event of 2021. It's Monday. You know what that means.
And I'm also joined. We're both also joined by. I wanted to try and incorporate Jeff Bezos' Dick Rocket into that, but I couldn't think of a way to do it. It's Joe Medforce. Hello, Joe. Welcome back.
Hello, Amy. Hello, David. Thank you so much for having me back after the hot mess that I was on the last time I was here. If it could be weeks ago, it could be months ago, it could have been just yesterday, but it's a pleasure to be back, and I'm ready to say words about games.
The thing is, you say hot mess, but we just say a typical Monday podcast.
Monday,
to be fair, yeah,
you know what that means. That's our brand.
Definitely.
That's just who we are as people. Hot, yes. Very hot. One might say.
Ooh, yeah.
But very
some
messy.
Say the best in the world.
Some say the best in the world. I'm wearing a Wholesome Direct t-shirt.
I'm wearing a t-shirt which is definitely not purchased from everyone's favorite. You want a custom t-shirt? Redbubble will probably do it for you. It says "goddamn superhero," which
you are a goddamn superhero as far as I'm
concerned. God, because I couldn't read that very well.
I was wondering what it said as well.
Yeah. So basically,
I recognize super.
Yeah, shout out to one of my games of the year, and I know we've probably covered this in past couple of episodes. I say I wasn't here. No More Heroes 3, which had one of the most bizarre, I think it was either at TGS or a Nintendo Direct, nearly 3 minute anime opening story of an ET style alien leaving the planet and then comes back and he's an absolute asshole and he's like, we hear heroes are popular right now. I'm a goddamn superhero. And then Travis Touchdown blazes into frame, ready to take down alien assassin people. And it's a game as weird as the last episode of this I was on, and it deserves more love despite the fact it's a pretty janky mess. No More Heroes 3, Nintendo Switch. Tell your friends.
Yeah, internet. Tell your friends. Tell everybody.
Tell everyone.
What they say.
Speaking of wearing things, maybe a while ago, we were talking about reviewing games. I don't remember the exact discussion. All I remember is we were talking about how I always reviewed more games than you on a weekly basis. I always had more games to talk about than you did. And I said, foolishly perhaps, if you ever review more games than me in a week, I will wear the cat ears on a podcast. And 2 weeks ago...
Completely forgot about this.
You reviewed 3 games to my 1. The videos are still coming out. YouTube.com/wordsaboutgamesuk.
Forgot about this.
And I am a woman of my word.
Yes. Oh, that's so good. And make sure, if you haven't done so already, when you see these reviews on youtube.com/wordsaboutgamesuk, yeah?
Correct.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Hell yeah.
Smash that like button and comment about what you thought about their reviews that they're doing. Because they're amazing.
Got some bangers coming out.
Bangers.
50+ minute Halo Infinite review just dropped.
Ooh, I still haven't played the campaign. I haven't made time for it, but I really want to.
I haven't already. But I still was there for a 50-minute fucking review for it.
Yeah. Oh my god. No. The multiplayer in Halo as well. So freaking good.
Once I get started, no one can stop me.
That's true. Then she followed it up with a 40-odd minute of Lost Judgment review as well.
That was you. That was partially you. You talked a lot during that one. Wasn't just
Don't blame me.
It wasn't just me. You talked as well. And then we reviewed.
You want that? You want that content while you're trying to avoid your family if you do or don't get to see them at Christmas. youtube.com/wordsaboutgamesuk.
That's how I'll be spending my Christmas. Not watching my own content, avoiding my family with video games.
Yes.
This is fun. I like this. I'm sure I had other things to talk about in the intro, but I can't remember what they are. So, Joe, where can people find you? Everybody knows where they can find me and Moody, but where can they find you?
So you can find me on twitch.tv/JoeMedForce, bringing you ridiculous positive passion every week. It's a part-time stream working towards a full-time dream, and if you want to help that come the fudge true, then you just need to pop into chat sometime, say hey if you can. If not, you hit that follow button. Doesn't cost you a thing to do that on Twitch, on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I'm at JoeMedForce. And youtube.com/JoeMedForce as well, if you prefer the YouTube where you find Words About Games UK. Hit that subscribe button. I will be putting out at some point after I hopefully get to see it again this week. Every thought I could possibly have about Spider-Man No Way Home, because as much as I love video games, I also love me some freaking Spider-Man, and my minifigures are right here to prove it. You know, these are not spoilers. But I do have. Oh, you got that Iron Spider Funko? Yes. And yeah, just we love to play. We're going to be playing community games as always on Twitch. You can jump in for some Mario Kart, oftentimes Fall Guys, just a ton of stuff. If you love Nintendo, you'll like my nonsense because I'm a huge Nintendo boy. Sometimes I dress up as Waluigi because he's the freaking best. It's a lot of fun, and we'd love to have you come be a part of it wherever you like to engage with things on the interwebs.
The first time he came on the podcast, when Moody was like, hey, I know this guy, Joe Medforce. We could probably get him on the podcast. He went, here's a picture of him. And it was a picture of you dressed up as Waluigi for Halloween. And I was like, yes, get this man on the podcast immediately.
Yeah. Halloween is one of my highlights from this year. Seriously, being Vampire Waluigi from Mario Kart Tour. Yes, they put Vampire Waluigi in the Mario Kart mobile game, and I dressed up as him. That's the top hat back there from it. And we sang ABBA, "Lay All Your Love on Me," except it's "Lay All Your Blood on Me" because Brian David Gilbert. I'm sure we covered a lot of this last time, but killing the game as always. So it's always a fun time, and it's the end of the week, and the beginning of the new one. So my energy is not where it usually is, but I know that with the news that we're going to tackle today is going to come back out. We're going to get it. It's going to go.
I love Brian David Gilbert. I watched his entire Unraveled series like 2 weeks ago.
Wait, had you not watched it? You hadn't watched it when it came out?
I'd seen the Halo books one, and that was it.
Oh my god!
I've seen everything.
Waluigi Unraveled is like the Rosetta Stone for me, and everything. His full poker rap that he did, the strange stuff since he left Polygon that he's putting out on his own YouTube channel. He's just doing whatever the he wants.
He's fantastic. Pokemon Edibility Unraveled was.
Yep, the final episode.
Was something. I love that.
Yes. No, we stand.
We do. But anyway, I've got some notes on this laptop. I should probably read them, right? I probably wrote them for a reason. So the podcast is taking
last episode of 2021. Do whatever you want.
Do whatever I want. See you later. I can't be honest with this shit. The cat ears fell off. I was doing a bit. Oh.
Didn't work.
I mean, they were very cheap. I bought them on Amazon for like £3. The podcast is taking a 2-week break after this for Christmas and New Year, so we'll be back on January 10th. The first few episodes of 2022. That still feels weird to say. Will be special episodes. Sorry, I'm like trying to like be cool and nonchalant. I'm just gonna read it. Will be special episodes. Like most anticipated games of 2022, there may be some special guests involved. Who knows? We'll see what we can sort out. Not looking down at for any reason right now. Might be some special guests involved. I hope this looks right on Discord. in our 2021 Game of the Year podcast, which we're doing towards the end of January because we want time to play all the games that we want to play.
I think that's a great shout. Yeah, I'm gonna need January to probably play Halo Infinite and play, any of these games that I need to catch up on. There's far too many.
Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't played Metroid yet, so I need to fix that.
That's a fix that needs to happen.
So there somewhere. Twitter decided that I was playing Moonglow Bay, so I've been playing Moonglow Bay for the last couple of days.
Yeah, Metroid is I sent
Moody
piece of a game.
I sent Moody a picture of the doc I've got of like the list of games that I want to try and play before we do Game of the Year, and it literally is titled "Narrow this list down, or Moody will kill me for trying to review too many games in January."
I sent you mine as well. It was
it's the same fucking length. And I was like, wait, hold on, are we gonna have to do like 10 reviews a week for the first few weeks of January?
Whereas, if you have me on any of these episodes around that sort of time or whatever, you're just gonna be like, Joe, you played 5 games. Well done. Congratulations.
Well, thankfully, half the ones are I thought it's not even half. I say most of the ones on mine are games that Amy's played. So you can already see those reviews, ladies and gentlemen, on wordsabougames.uk on YouTube. So,
I'm trying to cross over with Moody's list as much as possible because I feel like if he has things to say about these games, that he won't get as angry with me for me coming back going, I've played 12 games, Moody.
That's good. Yeah, you distract him with his own thoughts.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm hoping to keep on top of it a little bit more next year.
I've always said it's fine. There's no pressure.
No, it's not that. No, I'm for my own sanity. It's more for my own sanity because I'm looking at my list right now and I'm just like,
that's a lot of games.
That's a lot of games. Yeah.
Oh gosh, I can't even. Yeah, no.
All the reviews that are just you going hardly doodly do, citizens of the nerdy world, and then me just going blah for like half an hour, and you just going.
And I'm just like,
well, that's
and
good. But for the final time in 2021, I'm going to do the rest of the rigmarole. Every Monday at 8 p.m., we sit down to talk about what's going on around the games industry, tell you about what's coming out this week, and try to guess review scores in OpenCritic head-to-head. You can get the video podcast on youtube.com/wordsaboutgamesuk or the audio version on a variety of platforms, including Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and more. There's timestamps in the description wherever you get the podcast, so you can watch this podcast in whatever order you want, however you want. If you want to hang out with us while we play games, tough because we're on a 2-week break, but when we're not on a 2-week break, you can head over to twitch.tv/wordsaboutgames. There's no schedule for this week because we streamed our last stream of 2021 last night. It was an interesting one.
But what I will say is that I am at least doing one stream a week. So if you do want to hang out, watch some games, play some games, we're going to be, multiplayering it up. Maybe some Fall Guys, maybe some Fortnite, maybe some Jackbox. Just having fun over the holidays as we all probably settle into lockdown again. Who knows? Twitch.tv/JoeMedForce. That's a plug right there, baby.
That's a plug. I'm here for it. Do all the plugs you want.
Thank you.
Do it. Absolutely. Do that. You can't hang with us because we're antisocial people and we don't want you around us at Christmas. Hang out with Joe Medforce. And maybe us because we might be there. Who knows?
At some point, we're gonna bring the audio and the video from Words About Games, the podcast, to a live form on yours. We'll do it'll be the greatest crossover of all time. It'll be a fantastic thing. We're gonna make this work.
I don't know how that'll work, but let's do it.
We'll figure it out. I'll come play Among Us with you sometime. You come play some Mario Kart or something like. We'll figure it out.
How do you feel about Phasmophobia?
Oh no, I you know what? I actually like at this point in time, and I've only played a little bit of both games, and I've not played either of the games since the update. I prefer Phasmophobia to Among Us. And I do like Among Us, and I enjoyed my time with Among Us. But Among Us was, it's weirdly enough a more stress. I like being scared in the way Phasmophobia scares me, but Among Us is like quite a stressful game experience for me. And I'm not, yeah, and I don't vibe on it. I think I like those kinds of games, like a mafia or werewolf or whatever you want to call it. Who done it, right? I like that in person more than I think I do virtually, because you end up siloed a bit depending on how you play the game. But you know what? Either way,
well,
we're gonna have a lot of fun.
It's sold. Me, you, Moody, Phasmophobia. We've got like 10 people who play. We'll see. We'll be able to grab someone else. You've not lived until you've heard over the radio, we need to get the picture of the ghost, and then Moody just goes, and then starts singing his songs. He sings.
We can sing together, Moody. It's going to be beautiful.
I know one of them off by heart, Joe.
I can't remember bloody what I said, and yet she knows it all.
One of his nonsense Phasmophobia songs is stuck in my head, and I know all the words.
Perfect.
I sing it to him sometime.
Check it out.
Yes, go to.
Check out highlights videos.
The last one for 2021 drops on Christmas Eve, I believe.
It does.
Amazing.
It does. I'm working on it now. We've got some banging highlights from the last half of November. We got some bangers.
Brilliant.
But we've got a podcast to do before we can get to that. So let's get into it one last time in 2021 and talk about the news. Roblox criticized for lack of safeguards for kids' stock market-like collectibles. This is from Brendan Sinclair over at gamesindustry.biz. He writes, in August, People Make Games posted a video to YouTube reporting on a number of ways the Roblox gaming platform arguably exploits its core user base of children between the age of 9 and 15. The original report drew nearly 900,000 views, and as the outlet's Quentin Smith explained in a follow-up video, a response from Roblox saying People Make Games should pull the video off YouTube because of, quote, a number of errors, end quote, that it refused to detail. The original report also caused a number of Roblox users to approach People Make Games to discuss other ways the user-generated gaming platform neglects to care for the children who use it. The outlet took issue with 4 more aspects of Roblox, starting with a lack of oversight over the people and organizations making games on the platform. The most successful games on the service are made by teams of people. There's little recourse for developers whose managers decide to change the terms of their arrangement or renege on previous deals. One such developer told the outlet he kept quiet about what happened because the platform has a culture against speaking out, or people risk being seen as difficult to work with. People Make Games also noted a lack of recourse for people wronged in such a way, noting that talking about managerial malfeasance on the Roblox developer forums falls under the category of harassment. The shift towards games being developed by teams has also resulted in less accountability for abusers. People Make Games said, going into the case of the developer of one Sonic the Hedgehog fan game who flirted and sexted with a 12-year-old girl. While Roblox eventually deleted the developer's personal account, he had transferred ownership of the game to a separate account representing the development team. As a result, he still appears to be involved in development and profiting off the continued operation of the game, with Roblox considering the matter closed. The last 2 issues People Make Games raised are tied together. The first is that the game has a digital collectible marketplace for cosmetic items that were made available for a limited period of time or in limited quantities. Roblox hosts a secondary market where users can buy and sell those items, complete with stock market-like graphs showing the item's value over time. Some of those items go for tens of thousands of dollars now, and every time they're sold, Roblox takes a 30% cut. When one developer's account was hacked and his collectible items transferred to another account, Roblox support twice refused to help, saying he'd sold the items himself. When he tried a third time to contact support, they told him the sale happened more than 30 days before, so they couldn't help him. The game he had made was also pulled down because he used assets legitimately obtained from the Roblox Toolbox asset store, but the person uploading them had stolen them from another user. The final point in the People Make Games report is that because Roblox's cut of sales and its terms for cashing out the ecosystem's virtual currency into actual money are so onerous, it's pushing children towards black market websites where users can arrange to sell collectible items and trade out virtual currency without giving the platform holder a percentage, and fall for malware, phishing scams, and hidden fees if they aren't careful. Quote, Smith said, quote, "The success is alarming because Roblox right now is setting the standard for what society expects in the future of digital labor, of internet child safety, and accountability of big tech." The CEO of Roblox now has a net worth in the billions. The company makes decisions that affect tens of millions of young people. And yet, when we asked them questions where Roblox's own policies appear actively harmful to their young users, we were told that we weren't being objective, while this company refused to even admit the existence of the collectibles stock market they created or the underground black market website that they allowed to exist. They didn't say anything to us about this questionable reality of kids working underneath other kids. They told us that we weren't seeing the bigger picture while refusing to even admit the existence of whole parts of this picture, end quote. A Roblox representative had not responded to a request for comment as of press time. Wow.
Can I jump in on this?
Jump in on this.
I was so pleased, and obviously not based on the content of the facts of the story, but I watched both of these People Make Games videos just this past week. The first one, titled Investigation, How Roblox is Exploiting Young Game Developers, which posted back in August, completely passed me by. And I'm subscribed to People Make Games. This is why, you always need to make sure, I'm bad at this. I don't have notifications on for the channels I'm subscribed to, but that's besides the point. We live in a democratized media society, right, where we can all throw the camera on using your phone. You can make whatever, right? You can make games. Roblox was something that is came up when long after we would have been into it as kids, right? And earlier on in my streaming career, I streamed a lot of Nintendo games, Animal Crossing, primarily just Nintendo games. So a younger audience was initially attracted, that I don't really have now. But, people were like, oh, what would it take to play Roblox? Have you heard of Roblox? Do you like Roblox? Roblox is huge. Roblox. I think I think as part of the article said, it's like it's the biggest game in America and Europe. It's the biggest game because it's free to play and, kids can make it. And there's so many games and all this sort of stuff. And initially, their front page of their create section of their website said, make anything, reach millions of players, earn serious cash. Which is, there's a top 200 videos on the Roblox page of discoverability. And what are those? They're the most popular games. It's the majority just not in a dissimilar way to Twitch, and its discoverability is garbage. There's people streaming to 0 viewers. The majority of Twitch streamers are streaming to 0 viewers, whereas Twitch and I'm part of this ecosystem, I'm part of this mechanism. Yep, Jeffrey Bezos takes the 50% of my pay every month and puts it in his dick rocket. I had to squeeze it in somewhere.
Part 2. It happened. Yeah, squeeze Jeffrey Bezos' dick rocket in somewhere.
Yeah, tick it off on your bingo.
What the cyber episode we were going to get. Okay.
Oh, shit.
But I have never played Roblox. I did not know how deep it went. The last things I heard about Roblox was Lil Nas X doing a concert in there. 21 Pilots. A band and I like Lil Nas X as well. I realize people, and it's there's so much money and it's all happened so fast because this game is so popular, and the big tech part of this publicly traded company just wants to keep that machine rolling on. Just they dodged questions, they didn't answer questions. There is 1.1 million views on the first video that People Make Games did that was posted in August. And their most recent video about it, the follow-up video, has already crossed over 2.2 million. It's this is... and the problem is it's a juggernaut, isn't it? It's this behemoth of greed and disregard for the safety and security of young people. They don't give two shits because they're making money hand over fist. And it is vile and disgusting, and it makes me very glad that I never even on a whim touched or played Roblox, because I would not have ever wanted to associate myself with, even in the past before all this came out, because this has been happening for years, literally. Like the game's been around for
2006. I just checked it up.
2006. Like this has been building for 15 years.
Yeah,
15 years, and it's just like and the idea of and this attitude of, well, what happens on our website, yep, we can deal with that, we can be responsible for that, but everything else they're just like, no, it's no.
I see nothing, I hear nothing.
Yep. All I hear is the cash register just keeps on ringing up. Yeah,
it's fine. I mean, kids are being exploited for profit. It's fine. Like that's the thing. That's the thing that blows my mind. It's like we would have an issue with some of with most of, if not all of this, if we were talking about adults at a game developer, and we're talking about primarily kids between 9 and 15 years old.
Yep, and those kids are please, I urge you, go hit that subscribe button for People Make Games. They do incredible journalism and deep dives into so many great issues, not just this, and just make really great videos as well. But they interview some off the record, some anonymous, for those who they talk to the girl mentioned in the Sonic the Sonic the Hedgehog fan game thing that happened. They talk to a kid who kids who've been literally just deceived by all of this in one way or another, and it fosters this culture. Like there is no guarantees. Like with the successful people we see online doing anything that they're passionate about, music, video games, anything creative, those people at the top, those who manage to rise up, it's a lottery. It's not and they took off, and it goes to show just how receptive Roblox was without even saying anything. If you go onto roblox.com/create, it says make anything and reach millions of players. They took off earn serious cash, because it's like the moment someone called them out on it, and that video got 900,000 views at the time of them writing it, it was like they were just like, yep, no, I guess we shouldn't say that anymore. Our top developers are earning over $2 million a year by providing inexperienced purchases. That's what it said. And it's like, yeah, that's the top developers who have literally got teams of people working under them. Yep. Because they've been the lucky few that have managed to do this. It's like, yeah. Well, in some cases, literally, yeah. Some cases it is more of a legitimate thing, and they've actually been able to build it. And there are people who are successful on Roblox in a legitimate manner, but a lot of it has been built on actual child labor. No, thank you. Fuck that. To be frank,
Moody.
Oh yeah.
Just before I ask you to jump in on this, Roblox is the same age as Gears of War. I just looked it up. Thought it was an interesting little stat for you all there.
Moody.
He's cleaning his glasses, which is, I mean, you see the look on his face. He's got something to say.
So, the company's complete absolute garbage and trash, and everyone needs to be basically kicked out as fast as possible, and the whole place needs to be completely redone and rewritten, just like it happens, just like what we've been screaming at Activision and Ubisoft and all the other dickhead companies out there.
And we'll continue to later in this podcast.
Yes.
The thing is, I have to also shout at journalists here as well, because not people make games or gamesindustry.biz. I mean the other places, basically, because no one knew about the first video for 6 months.
Yeah, even I didn't. And like Joe said, I'm subscribed to People Make Games. I've been following Chris Pratt for years.
And this means that 100%, even though it got 900,000 views in that time, the fact that it didn't cross 1 million sooner meant that the YouTube algorithm buried it.
Well,
to start out with, in a way, it got there, and it will have been probably the Roblox community and people who are onto Roblox YouTube or whatever. I don't know how it all works, but yeah, it's like we should have heard about this. It should have been reported on at the time. I listen to Kind of Funny Games Daily almost every day, and it's just like, and to be fair, there's not a lot of crossover with a lot of these, but that's no excuse, right? Roblox is this big, in the same way that when we hear about bad labor practices at Epic Games for Fortnite, It needs to be covered, right, Moody? You're 100% correct.
I don't blame content creators or anything like that, because at the end of the day, they don't do journalism. I literally blame the other journalist sites who are there, who say they do journalism for the games industry, and have clearly completely ignored this. And the people who know about who would have probably seen, who are journalists who would have seen this video, probably, like, they've either ignored it, or they've tried to do something and they've been buried at their studio. And then it's a higher up place. Then the higher ups, like the CEOs of the companies and everything like that. And that's just me spitballing there. I'm not saying anyone has done that or anything like that. But this is the thing: like, we're only now talking about it now, and this will be completely forgotten by the time we get round to Christmas. Not Christmas. By next year. By Christmas.
Yeah. People make games. Yeah, people make games that already said in their most recent video, it's like, we're probably not going to make another video about Roblox, because it's unfortunately clear that it's like, you're shouting into a void. And also the sheer amount of research and hard work which must have been crushing to do as they dug deeper and found out.
I mean, imagine being on the receiving end of, like, you're doing research for a video about Roblox, your second video, and then finding out about the 12-year-old who was being sexted by. So imagine just finding that out. That's got to be, like, an important story to tell. But I mean, it's got to do some psychic damage.
And also with a player base and an age range and an audience and players and creators as vast, like, it is an absolute ocean of kids, who like, I like, the first thing I do when I get a chance to, like, talk, my nephew enjoys, doing his little, like, microbit stuff, programming. He likes, Minecraft. He's not necessarily a wannabe game developer, but he likes that more creative side of things. If ever my aunt, my brother or my sister-in-law ask me about Roblox and if it's good for kids, now I know the answer. It's like, no, don't touch it with a bloody barge pole. No matter how many of his mates are playing it, no matter how, he's 11. You know what I mean? And they talk to an 11-year-old about, the amount of the work, like the overworking that he was putting in, like he was, and it's just like, I had trouble with that, with creative pursuits, like overworking myself because it was my passion, because I loved it. When I was 25, and it fucked me for a good couple years, like, and that was not anything to do with anything like this, but planting those seeds, the idea of just, if you just work hard enough for nothing, literally, like, you're making something, you might be pleased and proud of that, but, like, you're putting every hour that you have, because kids have a lot of free time, outside of school or whatever, but you might neglect your schoolwork. You might, like, it's fucked. It's so messed up.
If you're making that money, right?
Like, because that's all you're actually doing, is, like, really, unfortunately, the chances of anything that you do actually taking off and benefiting you in the short or long term is so minuscule. All you're doing is folding.
Do you know what's great about gaming news websites? They all use tags for their news stories, so you can easily find news stories about specific topics, right? So, like, everyone's got a Roblox tag on their websites. Moody's spot on. Like, no one's talking about this. Like, I'm going on the big websites, and I'm scrolling through latest stories, Roblox. It's a whole thing. No one talked about this in August. Very few people are talking about it now. One website, which I'm not going to name, 5 days ago, Roblox promo codes for free items in December.
Because they will have been paid for that, of course.
So take that for what you will.
Yeah. No, it's and this is the thing. I come at it with fire and passion and anger and verve. After watching the video, I was like, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. But once you settle in with it, it's like, oh man, this just brings you fucking down. Like it really does. But please, 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 if you are listening to this, if you're watching this, do what you can to share these videos with anyone, because this will not be isolated. These incidents that you talk about are one of so many stories that are not being told because there's a culture against speaking out in the Roblox community. Just like there is in so much.
There. Just like there is in the entire game industry. Like Roblox is the games industry a microcosm, except it's about kids instead of adults.
Yeah, exactly. And kids do not you need to make sure we're taking care of the kids who could genuinely go on to make things, make incredible things in the future. You don't want them being literally abused before they can, this. And the worst, or one of the worst things about this is that Roblox is actually a great tool overall. It's it's mired in so much mess and so much money and such a reckless attitude towards those who have made it what it is, who have made it as popular as it is.
Video games, am I right?
Yeah.
Does anyone have anything to add?
Fuck roadblocks.
Yep.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, do better by those who just do better, Roblox. Please do better. Actually make improvements, make things safe. Shut down the black market websites. So, shut down the internal Roblox stock market. Stop letting this happen literally on your platform. Like, we've not even touched on it. There's literally a black market in Roblox. Like, useless. It's like pre-NFTs. Speaking of.
Well, you say speaking of NFTs, and I was going to use the segue. Speaking of companies that can go fuck themselves, Ubisoft to go ahead with NFTs dismisses concerns from workers and fans. This is from Rhiannon Bevan over at The Gamer, who writes, Ubisoft acknowledges that its recent NFT announcement was unpopular, but plans to move ahead with them anyway. This is according to an internal Q&A in which staff expressed their own concerns about implementing NFTs into Ghost Recon Breakpoint, only to be dismissed by management. CEO Yves Gilmour is said to have held the Q&A this week following the overwhelmingly negative response to Quartz, a platform that will release NFTs into Ubisoft games. This is pretty much just a fancy way of releasing new cosmetic microtransactions, but significantly more expensive since they're artificially limited. Workers at Ubisoft hit back against the plans considering the damage it is already doing to Ghost Recon's reputation. Staff noted that Ghost Recon player dissatisfaction has already increased since the announcement, and yet it isn't just the backlash that worries developers. Speaking to Kotaku, anonymous employees revealed that there are fears that implementing NFTs will result in more crunch, especially considering the current use of microtransactions already leads to resources being spread thin. One source who attended the Q&A revealed what the mood is among the workers. Quote, I'm here to make games and promote fun and entertainment, and I don't see how this is going in that direction. It's just another way to milk money, end quote. Yves Gilmour was unconvinced by these arguments. Sources say that Gilmour insists Ghost Recon's NFTs are, quote, just the beginning, end quote. He compared the negative reception from fans to that of typical microtransactions and even DLC. The comparison seems to indicate that management believes NFTs will be accepted over time. The meeting appears to be a knee-jerk reaction, as staff say it was not scheduled. While Gilmour was eager to indicate that the response was expected, it might be the case that he didn't expect that sentiment from within the company itself. Indeed, staff have been vocal about their apprehensions. Earlier this week, they already began speaking out in the media, saying they do not see the benefit of NFTs in their games, especially when weighed up against the pushback. There was a second story from Ed Nightingale over at Eurogamer, and I just dropped it in, so I'm going to keep reading. A French trade union representing Ubisoft Paris staff members has heavily criticised the company's move into blockchain gaming. In a statement on Twitter, trade union Solidaire Informatique called blockchain, quote, a useless, costly, ecologically mortifying tech, end quote. Well said, well said. They went on to say in a statement, quote, Ubisoft has recently entered the blockchain and non-fungible tokens market, a decision that has been widely criticised by our players, bringing no improvements or benefits to our games. Many of us in the company feel the same way and say that blockchain is harmful, worthless, and without future. You like dividends, subprimes, financial derivatives, crises, speculation, fast trading, money laundering, etc.? This is the assured and unspoken promise of NFT. We are far from the enjoyment of video games, end quote. So far, the technology has been used as, quote, a simple shop between players, end quote, and blockchain's innovation, quote, is to do the same, but inefficiently using energy, end quote.
Well, I think this has made the decision for you and me, Amy, to, when E3 comes around, I think we should react to Ubisoft and mock the living shit out of it all through the entire hour and a half of that presentation and just laugh. I think that's what we should do. Ubisoft, at the end of the day, I still don't really understand the NFTs because it's very hard to really explain it very hard, what I'm noticing. But either way, all I know is that they suck, they hurt the environment, and they're going to burn us all even faster. I don't want to burn. I would like to die of natural causes, please.
Not in an apocalypse.
Yeah, not in an apocalypse, please. But either way, like this is just this just proves even more like to the staff, and I'll stand by it. It's like saying, guys, like if you can find your way out, get your way out of there as fast as you can, because he doesn't care. They don't care. They want to make money. And that's all they're going for. I am a firm believer that you can do both at the same time without corrupting the whole industry, and corrupting, lying, and betraying your own player base, and doing it and where you can make an amazing game and also earn money. I do have true faith in that. But when you see companies like this and other companies doing it as well, it's just like really brings you down, and it's just like, good God. I've got into the gaming industry way too late. I should have got in earlier.
Well, no, I mean, to that point, Moody, I think actually now is a better time to get into the gaming industry. If you got into the gaming industry 10, 15 years ago, all of the stuff that we've talked about over the past 18, 24 months was happening, but it was happening in the dark. Nobody knew about it because nobody was talking about it. Now, your eyes are open. You know about it. So you know what to look for and what to avoid. So I'd actually say that's probably a better time to try and get in the industry.
I'm inclined to agree, because at least in some cases, like such as NFTs, blockchain, etc., companies are real happy to fucking shout about it. They can't wait to unveil, the Disney NFT, the bloody, like, oh my God, you're going to be able to get Mr. Ghost Recon. Like, I will say, I really feel for anyone who, like, actually, I've not played anything resembling a Ghost Recon game in a long time. It's not really my bag. That doesn't matter. But, like, I feel for anyone who's into this game. Like, isn't it? I think it's interesting because live service games, or ongoing games as a service, like, I don't like those terms, but
service.
Yeah, exactly right. But I'm still like, I don't tend to think of those terms surrounding a lot of the ongoing games that I play. Yeah, Fortnite is not the greatest, right? Epic Games, but I think that at least, where's, have we heard about the Fortnite NFTs? Is this the thing that's happening? It's like, no, and yes, they're making more money than most companies like Ubisoft will ever dream of making, especially now. But it's like, I just think that There's a reason the player base is unhappy. Listen to the bloody player base. These are the people who actually want to keep playing your game, whatever it is. If there's people still playing Ghost Recon Breakpoint out there, let them play it and don't bring this shit in there. Like, clearly there's reasons for their dissatisfaction, and I absolutely, that statement from the trade union, Solidaire Informatique.
Nice French
You
accent.
I do all right. You like dividends, subprimes, financial derivatives? Like, I just, hey, if you haven't watched The Big Short, watch The Big Short, just so you know how this story ends.
Yeah.
And it can end in the 2008 financial crash.
Well, it could. Maybe. But let's all be clear here. Ubisoft aren't putting this in their games. Kickstarter isn't doing this. All of these companies that are doing blockchain bollocks and NFT shit aren't doing this to enrich their users or their player base. They're doing it to make themselves rich.
Yep.
You're not going to get rich off of this. Sorry, it's not going to happen.
The bubble will just continue to grow until it bursts.
I want my games to be designed so that I can have fun while playing them, not as something I can play to earn money. Like it's fucking trading on the fucking I don't do that either. I don't trade on the fucking stock market. It's bollocks.
And if that's where you get your kicks, great. But it's like, video games. Yeah, we are far from the enjoyment of video games. I think we really are. Like, I'm not seeing. I mean, and maybe not maybe. I do live in a nice little Twitter bubble where stuff like this rarely penetrates. People aren't really talking about this on my end of the spectrum. But it's just like, I'm not seeing anyone just sort of like, yay, NFTs. Like, there are some people who have more money than sense, and fair enough. But it's just it's like that old kind of like, hey, at least when you bought a spot of land on the moon, or when you put your name to a star, you got a fucking piece of paper saying you did it. You're not even getting that. The moment
I heard someone describe an NFT as a really expensive receipt. But like, I don't live in a Twitter bubble. So I do see this stuff get talked about from time to time. And like over the past few days, especially, my Twitter timeline has been lighting up with artists who are having their art stolen and resold by other people as NFTs. And one of the core arguments of the NFT bros, the crypto bros, is that it's going to help artists make tons of money. Well, all our art's getting stolen and being sold by other people. So you tell me how that helps them.
At least if I like, and I do this because I make content on the internet. On occasion, I might take a piece of art and but I do my best to if I'm putting it in a YouTube video, put it in the description. What deviant art profile did I get this from?
Yeah.
I'm not like, hey, wanna buy this image of Waluigi in a Santa hat from me?
Yeah. So a few years ago, I did a Christmas video a few years ago on this YouTube channel where I was like, hey, Merry Christmas, we're off for a break, we're going to make some changes, and here are all the changes, but mostly Merry Christmas. And I used a thumbnail, which was this cool Christmas image of a bunch of different video game characters who are enjoying Christmas. And I contacted the artist of that picture and said, hey, I'm making this video. Is it cool if I use this as a thumbnail? And they got back to me and they said, yeah, that's absolutely fine. That's awesome. Send me the video when you're done, blah, blah, blah. We had a nice little back and forth. And I credited them in the description with all the links, and I put it all up on Twitter. And I was just like, that's how you do it. NFTs are bullshit. And we haven't even got up to the part where they're setting fire to the planet.
The idea that any of this is, I think the Ubisoft Quartz thing, and forgive me for not reading any of it in exceeding detail because I'm just sick of it, to be honest. It's like, oh no, don't worry, this is the clean NFT. This is the good. This is the energy efficient kind. It's like, or don't, or just hey Ubisoft, how about you stop copy pasting and pretending that a cosmetic item is unique, and you also stop copy pasting your games, and also get your house in fucking order. Get your house in fucking order. Yves Jumeau. Ta gueule.
Ooh.
That's, you can understand that. Basically, it means shut the fuck up and just get out.
Got to remember that one for later, Moody.
Yeah. Ta gueule.
Got it. We learned something today.
The thing is, for me, is like, I think what you just brought up, Joe, the film is very interesting because the video game industry has already had a video game industry crash.
Yep.
In the early 70s.
Yeah. 83, I believe it was.
Yeah. And it was thanks to Nintendo. Nintendo really that brought it back and everything.
Hey, Nintendo.
Like the industry, right now, is the most profitable industry out there. It's like bigger in movies and music basically combined, and everything. It's really, really insane how when it comes to its profits, it's like really, it just keeps on going and it's going and it's going. And it's eventually going to hit a peak. But after you hit the peak, there's only one way to go.
Yep.
And it's going to crash again. It's just, how is it going to crash? And that's the ultimate thing about it. Is it going to be because of these NFTs? Is it because the NFTs have burnt the planet and that's how it's crashed? Because it killed everyone on the planet anyway. So it doesn't make a bloody difference.
If everyone's dead, you can't buy video games, just saying.
Yeah, basically.
You certainly can't buy NFTs if you're fucking dead.
Yeah, but like, I don't know if it'll happen in our lifetime or anything like that. Like, because like, it's just crazy when it comes to these type of things. But I can see it happening. And it's scary to think that could, because it's just gonna keep on going. It's just gonna keep on going. We're seeing it right now with a certain new variant. So
Omicron, baby, sounds like a transformer.
I've been for my own sanity. I've been calling it like Omnicron. Just like
I am Omnicron.
A virus in disguise.
Oh my gosh!
Perfect.
Yes, I try these days where possible. I'm trying to, and to be fair, there's digital versus physical. It's the eternal argument, right? The convenience of buying things digitally versus physical media, and also the cost of physical media in terms of the environment. If there's a physical item, if it's a game cartridge or disc or plastic box, that's not great.
It needs to be transported, and
that's not good either. But at least if I buy a physical item, then that physical item can be resold if I so desire. As I've often regretted selling many a game I wish I now still had in my collection because I was a dumb kid. Yeah. Or it can be given to someone. Someone can, I can be like, oh, I'm not playing my copy of Pokemon right now. Hey, you put it in your Nintendo Switch and you get this. And the idea that it's essentially, let's not put any finer point in it. They're just trying to sell people nothing. It's non-fungible. Non-fungible sounds like it's just non-corporeal. Like it ain't fucking real. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just
not real. That's the point. You don't even own it. You don't own it. You own a license. You can get a shit fucking monkey. You could pay $20,000 to get a shit fucking monkey JPEG and say, well, I own this and I own the only copy of this. And then I could just go, oh, do you know?
Control-C.
Print screen. There you go. Now I have it. What are you going to do about it? Fucking nothing.
All it cost me was the digit energy
I had to
of
move
Control-C, Control-V. It's absurd. It's the
least. That is the least amount of effort I put in moving these two fingers. Let me tell you that. That's what she said. Yeah. Fuck your NFTs.
Let's not be having it. Let's just please don't. Please don't.
Please don't. Like, I just deleted 2 more NFT stars. I feel like we covered it pretty comprehensively. Where Peter Molyneux is now making a fucking blockchain game for no reason.
Well, and at least I will say, because I know I just saw it disappear from the dock, but it's absolutely fine.
There was one thing I
Stalker
wanted
2
to bring
is walking back their NFT.
is going, no, we're not doing NFTs. Like, we're not going to enter the metaverse and stuff. There's a quote at the end of the article that I actually want to read.
Hit it.
I can't believe I'm about to say I agree with this person because it's this person, but here is the last paragraph of the Stalker 2. Here is the last paragraph of the Stalker 2 walking back their NFTs in response to GSC's now deleted clarification tweet before it announced the total cancellation of its NFT plans. Gearbox founder Randy Pitchford pointed out on Twitter
and famed magician
and owner of questionable USB sticks, pointed out on Twitter that the studio doesn't actually need to use blockchain technology to run the same promotion. In-game representations have been a staple of Kickstarter backer awards for years. And I think that comes to the crux of what really pisses me off about NFTs in games is that there's no reason for it. All of the things that you want to do in your video game when you're making it that you do with NFTs are entirely possible without NFTs, which means that you could do it in a way that doesn't set the fucking planet on fire. Right?
I remember when a video game, you might have heard of it. It's a video game called Super Mario Odyssey.
I've heard of that. Yeah,
was released on Nintendo Switch, and in that game, for one of the first times in a mainline Mario game, there was a store in every world of that game, and that store was a place where you could go and buy new costumes and outfits for Mario, for Super Mario. You could put him in the purple little Waluigi hat. You could turn him into a skeleton. You could, at the end of the game, spoilers, like, get a hat which turned him into, like, blocky Mario 64 Mario. And what did it cost you to do that? How many nickels and dimes did they try and squeeze out of you? The big end, they're, like, all about making that fucking money, right? No.
How many Ethereum tokens did that cost?
Yeah, exactly. No, there's 2 types of currency in the game. There's coins and then there's purple coins, all of which you find in the fucking video game. What a revolution! Oh my god! The scales have been lifted from my eyes. Nintendo have solved it. You can put currencies in a video game you don't have to pay real money towards, and you can dress Mario up like Waluigi to your heart's content. Fucking why doesn't everyone just do this again? What happened? This is the saddest thing. It's just like, what the fuck happened to? Well, no, I know what happened. Video. Yeah, go. You know what it is. Amy.
Capitalism happened.
Capitalism happened. But the idea that. Cosmetics used to be fun unlockables in video games, and I'm part of the problem. You know, I'm gonna grind out and maybe even pay a little bit money so I can play as Spider-Man in the fork knife. I bought the Star-Lord skin, and that was the beginning of the end for me. And it's not right. But also, here's the other deal with that: you can download and play Fortnite for fucking free. It doesn't cost you a single penny to actually just download and play that.
Yeah, but
game.
I mean, you could buy your Spider-Man outfit in Fortnite, and know that you're not contributing to the end of the world.
Yeah, exactly. There's that too. That's always a comfort, isn't it? The idea that I can web sling in a silly game, and and just basically, I cannot wait. I tell you, I'm just so excited to do this. My Uncle Ben, do you give him a chance?
This is for Uncle Ben.
That's basically what I'm gonna be doing.
I'm here for that.
But it's just there's ways to do it right, and I think that's part of the reason why Fortnite has been so successful. It's just like, yep, make this version of the game, like, doesn't cost a dime. You don't have to pay £60, $70 fucking dollars for this, and then pay all this. Oh, it's just
Arr.
Yeah. Arr.
Yar. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on Good job I didn't leave the other 2 NFT stories in. Like, let's just keep it fucking going. Fucking NFTs.
I think we would have burned up. I think it would have been like Raiders of the Lost Ark live on this podcast. You just see the faces melt. Moody goes.
Well, no, I mean, it could have been really, really a really useful shortcut for me because, like, so I'm dyeing my hair in a few weeks, right? And part of that process is I need to bleach it. But if I just got so angry that I went Super Saiyan, like, I could save myself a lot of time and money.
Very true, very true.
But we won't do that.
Our only turns up when you need it.
I think I need it. You've been here all year, Moody. You know. All right, someone's got to do something. And maybe that someone's going to be me. Super Saiyan Amy K with her cat ears because she lost the bet. And her angry octopus. It's got a smiley face. You can reverse it, but I always put it in angry face when we do the podcast.
It's cute. I like it.
I like cute things, as you can tell. Exhibit A.
Yeah. Super kawaii.
Exhibit B, you too. It's time to break down the US NPD for November 2021. The top 10 best-selling games of November 2021. At number 1, and number 2, Battlefield 2042. Number 3,
sorry, that's so good.
Pokemon, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Number 4, Forza Horizon 5. Number 6, number 4, Forza Horizon 5. I got confused because I had a 5 at the end of it.
Yeah,
number 5. Madden NFL 22. Number 6, Mario Party Superstars. Number 7, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 8, FIFA 22. Number 9, number 10, NBA 2K22. Also of note, Shin Megami Tensei 5 was the 16th best-selling game of November 2021.
Congratulations to those 8 games in the top 10. But also I have to say something to the people on the internet, because my goodness, people when they saw Forza was only 4th, people were like, "What? It's got being 4th is so bad. It shouldn't have been in Game Pass or anything like that." I'm like, so I honestly was like, so guys, you do know what came out this month, right? You've got a game, and then you've got a Battlefield game, and you've got not 1 but 2 fucking Pokemon games.
If you put Pokemon if you put the word Pokemon in a game that's coming out on Nintendo Switch, it's gonna sell. It doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter what the fuck it is. It's just going to sell. The fact that when I was looking at
and the other game.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, is that to be number 1 and number 2, the other game and Battlefield had to come out on 3 platforms, right? PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. Regardless of the fact that there's 2 games in terms of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, you could have just made that 1, and I think it would still hit the number 3 spot to come out on just 1 platform.
But I think
that's the power of Pokemon.
Yeah, because last year I remember we were talking about it. I think it was last year. No, when Sword and Shield came out, it was separate.
A couple of years ago.
And Brilliant Diamond and Pearl, they've combined it in this year's. That's an NPD choice. But also maybe that's because the actual the difference between Sword and Shield, I feel like Sword did better than Shield when it came out. If I get to remember. And those are new Pokemon games, whereas these obviously are remakes of old ones. So you're going to get some people who were, maybe they were closer in sales figures than we know, and that's why they've just put them together. Who knows?
But the thing is, I was going to say, if any of those idiots actually think that Forza Horizon is a massive franchise, but if you think it's bigger than a Pokemon or a Battlefield or a freaking thing again,
all the other shooty bang bang made by bad people. Made by very good people. Made by very good people who are not treated well by their company or their culture. Yeah. Let's just put it that way.
If you think it's bad, you're blind. And you do not know the
This
industry.
is the best.
No, yeah.
This is the best-selling Forza Horizon game of the entire series.
Yeah,
We talked about
yeah.
it a few weeks ago, didn't we?
Yeah, and also genuinely, I've yet to play Forza Horizon 5. I am so bloody happy that, like, as far as I can tell, and obviously we'll get Halo figures once December is said and done. But Xbox is killing it, and they seem to be doing really, really well overall. And Game Pass, best deal in entertainment.
We've been singing Xbox's praises for on this podcast.
Yep.
Very much,
Continue to do so, and then you get the usual suspects. Obviously, I'm pleased. I do want to and will eventually, hopefully, play Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy because I've heard rather good things about it. Overall, I know it's a mixed bag, but
no, I've had an interesting ride with trying to play that game. As Moody knows, it's just arrived for the second time on Xbox.
I tried it on PlayStation.
I tried it on PlayStation 5.
Oh wow! Oh my god! I need to hear.
It's
more
a
about
testament. It's a testament to how much I enjoyed the first few hours of this game. Because normally, if this happens, I just go, "Well, fuck it," and I just get rid and it's gone. And I don't think about it. But I actually went to the trouble of sending it back because we rent our games where we can, sending it back and then getting the Xbox version sent to me and to start it again. That's how much I was enjoying Guardians of the Galaxy. So
that's wicked. I'm glad to hear that.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we
have
got a Game of the Year podcast in like a month. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for that. We got to review it as well. I got some notes. We will. I've got some. We will. It's what we do, really. We do three things.
2021 will be done. We don't need to do the 2021 games anymore.
We do three things here at Words About Games, and one of them is review games.
Yeah, we start that with Pokemon Arceus when it comes out.
We do the other games.
I'm gonna be.
Don't do that, otherwise we're doing Game of the Year like straight away when we get back, and I'm not doing that.
I am cautiously optimistic for Pokemon Legends Arceus. Cautiously optimistic. I'm really hoping it's going to be a good time.
Either way, it's going to be one of the best-selling games this year.
Oh no! And also kind of unprecedented to have two huge Pokemon releases coming out within 3 months of each other.
Like wait till they drop Zelda in April.
It's not gonna. I wish it was gonna happen, but it's not. I want it to come out on the 5th anniversary, but it's not gonna happen. It's gonna get, or at least maybe. I think it'll come out the back half of the year. But anyways,
the thing is about it. This is only I think the first Pokemon game of 2022. I think they've got another one coming out later next year, and I think it might be the new region.
Wow, that's a bold prediction.
When did Sword and Shield come out? That's 2019?
2019.
That's a 3-year gap. That's normally when they start thinking about it. It's either going to be a new region or it's going to be a new combination of Sword and Shield, like Pokemon Spear or something.
I'd be interested. I could see another Let's Go. I could see Let's Go. Johto. Let's go Johto, basically.
Everyone's been screaming for a Johto one of that, but they seem like
Let's go Bulbasaur. Fuck it. I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's all right.
All right,
we're
talking about these sales notes.
Yeah, we are. One of them answered the question I just literally asked about Forza. Battlefield 2042 launched as the number 2 best-selling game of November. Blah, 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 blah. Battlefield 2042 is the second best-selling game of November on both PlayStation and Xbox platforms. No surprise there. It's a surprise. I thought this game was bad, like broken.
But again, the majority don't care, do they? Like it's not so like, oh, we're better than I think just these are franchises that are bigger than people who are into video games, people who are on games Twitter, people who are making videos about games, people who are looking at games journalism. The Battlefield, and Pokemon's the same. Like number 1 game. Yeah.
About it. Sorry, Joe, I'll put it in there.
Go ahead,
please. The thing is about the top 3 games At the top and the top 10. They haven't only cracked the video gaming main audience. They've cracked the casuals.
Exactly.
That's the thing about
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
So again, I will apologize again for putting in on you,
Dude. I talk a lot. You got to stop me at some point.
Yeah. That's the thing about it. So like, it's like casuals do not care unless they really see it, or the game just basically doesn't work on their platform they're playing it on. They don't care, and they just keep on playing.
Yeah, they're gonna buy it because their mates will be buying it, and they'll be wanting to play it with their mates. It's like, you're in the same way. It used to be kind of like not always, but it's like, are you FIFA or PES, right? You know what I mean? Like back in the day,
These
right?
arguments about that shit.
Yeah. We did. No, you did. Like, and then one goes the way of the dodo. But it's everyone's got what they like, and for some people it's just like that. We're like clockwork. When November rolls around, they're gonna buy the new Madden. They're gonna buy the new NBA. Like, how is NBA 2K like a game that is, but again. It's the same with FIFA and its Ultimate Team. All this garbage like that they keep shoveling into these games to try and make more money out of them. I mean, the general audience doesn't care. It's the same reason that people will always go. And this is not a comment on the quality necessarily, but it's like, I've been saying this a lot, and I love capital L loved Spider-Man No Way Home, right? But it's like MCU is the McDonald's. You know what you're getting every time, and that's why everyone will always keep going back to it.
I mean, even I'm going to go and see Spider-Man. But if the cinemas are still open.
I completely understand if you haven't seen it yet. I'm going to go again this week.
Thursday, I'm doing a triple bill. I'm going to see the Matrix, Ghostbusters, and Spider-Man.
That's going to be sick. That's going to be one of the best days of your life. If you
Probably. What I didn't realize was I accidentally ordered them in the order that I actually want to go and see them as well. So if I get tired, I can just bail.
Wow. Yeah, I need to figure out Matrix. And to be fair, I still actually want to see Ghostbusters as well. I haven't. That one's passed me by. But
all movies have passed me by. Like I haven't been at the cinema since I saw Little Women.
Since you saw
2020.
Since you saw Little, wow, that's amazing. I mean, first of all, more power to you for staying strong and not going. But I wouldn't have survived if I hadn't gone to the cinema.
I used to go every week, once a week.
Oh, so also. Let's just take a brief moment to say that if you are at least in the UK, please watch Little Women on Netflix. It will break you. It's such a beautiful movie, especially to watch with your family at Christmas. It's amazing. Greta Gerwig. Hey, you like Saoirse Ronan? You like Emma Watson?
Everybody loves Florence Pugh right now. She's in it.
If you're watching. Whatever, I'm not gonna spoil things, but if you liked Florence Pugh in Black Widow and you liked her in everyone's favorite family film Midsommar, definitely watch Little Women. I saw Little Women twice.
I'm gonna be honest, I am obsessed with Florence Pugh a little bit.
We'll talk more about our Florence Pugh obsession off the podcast.
Yeah, let's do that.
Words about games.
Words about games. Sure. If only we were on a podcast, some kind of podcast that talked about movies. Maybe we could call it the Glorious Movie Show. I don't know. We'll workshop something. Anyway, I've got more notes.
That show's retired. I'm sorry.
I've got more notes here. Forza Horizon 5 set a new Forza franchise launch month sales record, including both Forza Horizon and Forza Motorsport titles, while ranking as the fourth best-selling game of November 2021. Forza Horizon 5 was the number 3 best-selling game on Xbox platforms in the month. So, it's bad because it's in fourth. It's literally done better than any other Forza game in its launch month ever in history. All of them. Motorsport, Horizon... It's the best-selling game in the entire franchise. So that answers that question. Fanboys are idiots.
We are. I can speak for the Nintendo fanboy in me. I'm an idiot.
We're all idiots here, so it's fine.
Yes.
Shin Megami Tensei 5 achieved the highest launch month dollar sales of any Shin Megami Tensei title in history. Shin Megami Tensei 5 ranked as the 16th best-selling game of November 2021, while also ranking 6th on Nintendo platforms. This just backs up my theory that if you put a game on Switch and it's exclusive to Switch, it's gonna sell. It's gonna sell.
It's not even necessarily about exclusivity. I think at this point, it's just like games on Switch sell. Switch is just, it's on fire. It's sold. I don't know. I can't remember if this is covered in the doc, but like it in the holiday season, the American holiday season, Switch sold more than PlayStation and Xbox. It's just like, and yeah, there's still supply chain issues for a lot of those consoles, but it's like Nintendo Switch came out 4 years ago, and it is as popular and more popular, arguably, than it ever has been. It's amazing. It's
Hell yeah.
And I'm real happy about it because I like.
You like your Nintendo.
The thing is about it, when it like Nintendo's an amazing product, there's no doubt about it. Like I've been playing it all day.
I
The
bought
thing
an
is, I
OLED
think that
dock
you did, didn't you? Yeah.
Did you buy an OLED dock?
for the Ethernet cable.
Oh, that's such a smart. Yeah, I
Sorry,
almost
Moody.
did. No. What? And also, Moody, what have you been playing on Switch? Talk to me, baby.
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Oh yeah,
Pokemon.
that
I haven't
Pokemon.
started Metroid yet. I have it, but I haven't started it yet. But I was going to say, like, the thing is, when it comes to Nintendo, is that, and the PlayStation and the Xbox, like PlayStation and Xbox are still in that lull period, I think, between generations. And with their games are all cross-platform right now, people I don't think they see the need to get a new console right now.
Yeah, I played the Halo Infinite multiplayer beta on my original Xbox One, and I've been playing the multiplayer now on PC, and I'm gonna play Halo Infinite on PC. Because it's there with Game Pass, which is amazing for me. It means I don't have to shell out for a Series S or an X. Even though if I've had the money, I would 100% want to. But it's and I'm like, yep, just gonna maybe try and put a little bit of money aside when I can, so I can eventually get have enough money for when Wolverine and Spider-Man 2 come out. Like PlayStation, apart from that, I have no reason to get a PlayStation. No real reason to get a PlayStation 5. Unfortunately,
I'm gonna be honest. I got one because one, I could afford it at the time, and two, I knew this was gonna happen. So I was like, I can get the hassle out of the way now.
Yeah,
have
completely.
one, and then not have to worry about it ever again.
There you go.
Or not, and I chose that.
But also, I'm gonna be the guy who, when I get paid in January, I'm gonna maybe try and buy the purple DualSense that's coming.
Oh my God. I just bought a red DualSense because I was like, it's a sexy controller. Fucking PlayStation had to drop the buy flag colors on me, and I was like, oh no. All of those look great.
I know they do look good. I'm gonna have
Purple's
an
literally
empty
my
shell.
favorite color.
I'm gonna have an empty shell of a PlayStation 5 case and a freaking controller that I can barely
get some string and just like set it up so it's standing up like it's an actual PlayStation. It's like, do you like my PlayStation 5?
I'll just place the shells around my Wi-Fi router.
No one will know the difference. It's my PlayStation 5. Look, see, I've got the controller and everything. The top 10 best-selling games year to date. Number 3, Madden NFL 22. Number 4, MLB The Show 21. Number 5, Resident Evil Village. Number 6, Battlefield 2042. Number 7, Super Mario 3D World. Number 8, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Number 9, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. Oops, my finger slipped.
There we go. That's a great. I can't do math, but it's a great like 3 to 9.
Those 7 great games in the top 10. Absolutely.
Yes.
To them.
Also, I think it speaks, Moody. It speaks to that lull that the number 1 game, which we won't name, and also the number 9 game, which we will name because Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales is a fucking great game. Best games, both of those games, and Yeah, no, I think it's just those two games. Came out last fucking year.
I still think if you manage to score yourself a PlayStation 5 and you're buying a bundle and you're looking at the games that you can get with the PS5, and I said this last Christmas when we were talking about this, I still think the game that you go for is Miles Morales.
Miles Morales, I really liked Spider-Man PS4 when I got to play it. Also, it's been too long since I did a shameless plug. If you want a dose of like Christmas joy, go to youtube.com/JoeMedForce and watch the video where a couple of members of the Twitch community conspired in secret to give me a PlayStation 4 Pro last year.
Nice.
Yeah, I cried.
That's
Maybe
amazing.
you'll cry. It was amazing because I didn't have a PlayStation, and our friend Reese Boy, who's an amazing charity streamer, twitch.tv/Reese Boy, who raises money for NHS charities together. He's fantastic. He upgraded to PlayStation 5. He got one at launch. Very lucky to do so. He tried to give his PlayStation 4 Pro to a children's hospital. They wouldn't accept it because they had taken too many things. They said, "Oh, well, if you sell it, we'll take the money." And then another member of our community, when he was sort of streaming, and I wasn't about in his in that stream, someone suggested, "Hey, well, Joe doesn't have a PlayStation." And they gave it to me on my 6-month stream anniversary, and it was with a bunch of games and like and also another generous member of the communities on Twitch gave up me a whole year of PlayStation Plus with it. Like it was freaking amazing. Like
so, all right, I rescind what I normally say. Sometimes people can be all right.
Sometimes people can be amazing. Sometimes. Exactly. But yeah, like one of the first things I did was like buy Spider-Man on PS4 for myself that Christmas, so I could finally properly play that game. I loved Spider-Man 2, and and if you have a PS5, you get, if you want a more Tom Holland looking Spider-Man, you can get the Spider-Man remastered. And yeah, Miles Morales, to be honest, ran great. And I think I had one issue with it on PS4 Pro, where like I just encountered just a glitch where it crashed one time after a save point. But
my issue with being a PS5 owner is sometimes I go back to Xbox, like because I've only got an Xbox One X.
Yes.
And I remember, and I suddenly have the crushing realization that loading screens do in fact still exist.
Oh yeah. I'm still living in the world of loading screens.
I get used to not having loading screens, and the game just goes right, and then I go like play Halo, and I'm just like, "Fuck's this shit." I'm sitting here not playing a game.
What do I do? Did I used to just look at my phone?
What did I used to do when this happened? Let's move on.
Before we do, very briefly, because Nintendo, and also actually Resident Evil Village, great fucking game, came out in whatever it was, January, like really solid entry.
I don't remember.
I know, yeah, but early in the year, they always do this. They put it out early in the year, really solid, and hot diggity damn, if you slept on Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury and you like the Mario. Fantastic. Bowser's Fury is fantastic, but also even though the online is a bit janky if you're playing with people across the world, I still had a ton of fucking fun. I didn't get a Wii U, even as a Nintendo fan. I didn't buy one.
I did. I had one.
You had one. You're better than me. But Super Mario 3D World is a really great entry into the Mario 3D series. There's so many incredible like level ideas. And,
Wii U had some fucking bangers of games on
that. And that was a banger that you can pay full price for.
Captain Toad. Captain Toad. Where's my Captain Toad sequel? God damn it, Nintendo.
Yes, let's have it. Give it to us.
PlayStation launches website to highlight accessibility of its consoles. This is from Ed Nightingale over at Eurogamer. He writes, PlayStation has launched a new accessibility website to showcase the features of its PS4 and PS5 consoles. The website lists core visual and audio features as well as closed captions, controls, and chat transcription. Some of PS5's most accessible games are also featured, including The Last of Us Part 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. The website launches a further indication of PlayStation's commitment to accessibility shared by Microsoft with its console features and custom controller. Quote, at Sony Interactive Entertainment, we strive to build a future for players of all abilities. We use technology to advance accessibility tools, products, and services for our PlayStation community and to guide our mission to connect the world through the power of play. end quote. That was Jim Ryan, president and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment. Herman Hulst, head of PlayStation Studios, is also quoted, quote, creating an accessible world for gamers motivates us and inspires our work. At PlayStation Studios, we aspire to craft gaming content that not only delivers immersive experiences, but also allows gamers to create meaningful connections as we have so much in common through the shared joy of play, end quote. End
Pretty
article.
So much more. Accessibility is an important element in gaming that I'm glad and happy to see that studios are finally moving forward on this type of thing. So, and PlayStation has been a very big lead when it comes to this. Like the games you shouted off there, Amy,
Yeah.
Some of the best accessibility games out there. So yeah,
I think PlayStation and Xbox have both been like crushing some of their accessibility stuff recently. And not just recently, to be fair. We had the adaptive controller as well.
Yeah, that is, and I can speak from a personal place of at least just knowledge, even though I don't personally have any accessibility issues of my own. Nintendo needs to step up their fucking game.
Big step.
You know, and you know, Metroid Dread, one of the best games of the year, is virtually inaccessible to so many people. And yeah, it's developed by a smaller team that Nintendo are working with, but that's not an excuse. And in general, they need to just provide more customization, accessibility options for these amazing games they make. And I'm really pleased that also. What I will say is that I think Microsoft really sort of has led the charge in terms of accessibility over the past few years, and now PlayStation has been showing that they are going to be doing the same. That shows that a stubborn company, because I think Sony historically has been quite stubborn in the way that they move forward with things, taking outside of the accessibility issue, cross-play. They were the last holdout for a lot of these big, games and stuff like, for no real reason other than they're just like, oh yeah, we just want to keep the money on PlayStation, whatever.
Think of the children. That was nice.
They could think of the children precisely, and that's. But yeah, like you're saying, there's and sometimes there are still, I think, Steve Saylor, Blind Gamer Steve on Twitch and Twitter and stuff. Definitely check out his amazing content that he makes. He had a great point on his show recently about Halo Infinite and how, unfortunately, the inherent design of that game and the way that game plays and controls presents accessibility barriers which cannot be overcome through accessibility options. And that's the next stage. It's like, actually, let's make every gaming experience accessible to everybody at every level. It's not just about providing the wealth of options, brilliant options, incredible options, like the Last of Us Part 2, Ratchet and Clank and Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales provide. It's not just about that. It's like, yeah, think about it from the inception and design of the game as well. And yeah, it's just I'm really video games, like we've talked about over the course of this show so far, they're more successful than they've ever been, and that means that that everyone who can do so, Jim Ryan, everybody, Sony and Microsoft, beyond Nintendo, whatever, should be using the money that they're making to put their games in the hands of more players, or I use hands as a metaphorical term. But just making
lands.
Just make them so if everyone can play, it's better play for everyone, right?
What's it Phil Spencer said? Was it Phil Spencer who said it? If everybody plays, we all win. Is that Phil Spencer quote?
Probably. That sounds like a Phil Spencer. If everybody plays, we all win. I really like that. That's great.
You hear that from somewhere?
If everyone I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
However,
I'm not. And you know what? I am not against it. I am the biggest FromSoft fangirl on this podcast, easily. There's a Bloodborne hunter guy somewhere back there with no head. He lost his head tragically during a Bloodborne stream. Like, and I fucking Bloodborne is one of my favorite games of all time. I love Dark Souls 3. I love Demon Souls. Elden Ring, one of my most anticipated games of 2022. Moody's absolutely right. We've talked about many times about Elden Ring. Like, it needs to be more accessible. Yes. I get so excited playing these games, and then I have no one to talk to because nobody else plays them.
I would love to be able to talk more about Dark Souls, about Bloodborne, about all of these games. I would love to be able to do that. But I got put off by the difficulty of Dark Souls, and that's me coming from a point of, I could probably quote unquote get good, but
anyone can. But why should you have to, Joe?
Exactly. Give me the easy mode. Let me experience these amazing worlds that these people make. That's what I'm into. The opening of Dark Souls is one of the most metal things I've ever fucking seen, and I loved it, and I was well into it. And then 30 days later, I was like, I can't beat Qulag, I can't beat the fire spider lady.
You got further than me in Dark Souls. I'll tell you that much. Moody, you were going to say something.
Go on. To the assholes out there who say, "We'll just get good." I've got something for you.
Yes. Take two of these.
I try and take it back, but it just flicks up.
The handle must be broken.
The handle must be very much broken indeed.
I think so.
It was Phil Spencer on Twitter. When everybody plays, we all win.
Yes.
Software to that.
I wish they would. I wish they fucking would. Like, again, like some of their games are some of my favorite games of all time. And I wish they'd just accommodate more people to be able to play them.
Yeah.
Because it sucks being an island. Like,
completely.
I have to go and get fucking Joseph Moran from the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast, if I want to talk to someone about Bloodborne. And he's a busy guy, understandably.
they got a lot going on. Congratulations, Joseph and Kyle, for being at the top of the PlayStation podcast charts. Basically, I saw that on Twitter recently. It's like hell. I remember when Kyle, got the Secret Santa. Was it last year from Game Over Greggy? In terms of I'll come on the PlayStation Trophy Room podcast. I was like, what the heart it warms. It's grown. He was on
PS Salafi, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Yeah, they did that.
I love it for him. I love it for both of them. They're great guys. We had them on for half a podcast this year. It was the best. It was what we could get, and it was cool because it was great because I love those two guys.
They're brilliant. Yeah, no, they're amazing. If I get more into PlayStation, I'd love to get more with them. Go on, Moody.
Congratulations to both of them there. I'm off social media right now, so I'm not seeing anything on social media. So
sweet.
So congratulations.
Don't worry. No, hashtag no spoilers.
I don't know. Don't worry about it.
Hashtag no spoilers.
It's the worst kept secret in movies, isn't it? Really, unfortunately.
In general, so it does bother me up.
Well, you say that, right? But it took a lot of fucking work to find out the one Spider-Man spoiler I needed to know before I was committed to going to see it.
Oh, needed to? Oh, well, we'll talk more about that later. But for now,
I had to know. As I said to Moody, if it doesn't happen, if it's not happening, I need to know because I'm not going to go and see it. I'll wait until it comes out on Disney.
That's completely fair. I get that. But I see Nintendo in the dock. I'm just going to say that.
Nintendo in the dock. It's almost like I sometimes tailor these podcasts to the people who are going to be here. It's weird that in it, but there was a Nintendo Indie World. What am I think you've muted, Rudy?
No, I'm not.
No, you're not. Your lips were moving, but I couldn't hear you.
So wait, you tailor for people. So what's the excuse for me? You think
you're always here? You're always here. You have to go through the shit with me. I got to do this shit too. Like, you're always complaining. Like, you're always going, oh man, the news sucks. Like, I wish we didn't have to talk about it. I wish I didn't have to talk about this. I hate it. It's like, Moody, I'm here too. I hate talking about it as well.
Joe gets special treatment. I get freaking.
Joe does get special treatment.
Absolutely.
Because he's our guest, Moody. He gets special treatment because he's our guest. That's what guests get. They get special treatment. When we got Joseph and we got Kyle, we did a whole fucking hour about the PlayStation Showcase.
No, okay. Full disclosure. Unfortunately, I was watching Spider-Man No Way Home when this Indie World Showcase happened. I still haven't caught up on it. So
All right, well,
let's just get
here's all the spoilers.
Imran the Don Khan. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Here's all the spoilers for you. Thanks to Imran Khan, he rounded it all up over at Fanbyte. I did watch this. I was a little bit late. I was lying in bed, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I think I was watching TikTok or something, and I was like, "Oh shit!" There's a Nintendo thing, and I opened it. It was just finishing, so I was like, "Cool." Rewind it back, watch it. Because do you know what I love? And this might come as a shock to both of you, considering I'm wearing a T-shirt that's from the Wholesome Direct 2021 from E3. Like, this might come as a shock to you, but I like indie games.
Yeah. What?
And I like indie presentations because I get to see cool games that I've either heard of before or I've not heard of, either way. And there were some cool games at the Indie Direct. No Hollow Knight, but it's fine.
I think, and I
It's
saw.
fine.
I can't remember who I saw say it. Maybe it was Stealth 40k on Twitter. Hollow Knight is, I think, big enough in general now. We're going to see it at a main Nintendo Direct, not on Indie World.
It's killing me. I don't care.
I know. Yeah, Silk Song will emerge when it will. It will come out of the Hollow Nest.
Right.
As hopefully at some point in 2022. And I say this having not played the original Hollow Knight, but I just know the Hollow Knight hunger. I
want to point out before we get into this, I'm salty. I'm going to be salty for a minute. If Hollow Knight Silk Song doesn't reveal itself by September 2022, right? It will have been 3 years since I stood at EGX and played a demo of it.
That's brutal. Oh my god, that's so hard.
I played a demo of it in September 2019. Where is it? Where's the rest of it?
The equivalent of that is when in a field somewhere in England there was a Nintendo trailer, like a truck, and I got to play on GameCube The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess demo. Which was like you just like rocking around on Epona in Hyrule Field, like slashing moblins or whatever the fuck, like the bridge sequence from Twilight Princess.
Yeah,
I got to play that probably at least a year and a half, 2 years before we even knew the Nintendo Wii existed, and it was just like, and I remember watching, before that, like Miyamoto come out at E3, like the 240p quality video where he just, brings out the fucking Master Sword and the Hyrule Shield, and they play that goddamn trailer. And I got to play it. I got to play that. That's one of those few experiences I've had. And then I waited, whatever it was, probably 3 years, maybe. Nah, maybe not that bad. 2006 the Wii came out, but at least a year and a half. And then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get to play this game on GameCube, and then it's like, oh no, now I get to slashy slash
when we all thought the Wii was gonna be a revolution for how we played video games.
It was. Let's talk about that another time and get on to.
I just want to really quickly follow your anecdote with another anecdote, which it reminds me of when I was one of the first people to ever be invited into the Sea of Thieves Insider demos. I was playing Sea of Thieves for so long. We'd be sitting on podcasts, we'd do E3, and everyone was like, let's Sea of Thieves trailer, blah, blah, blah. It looked like this. Oh, blah, blah, it looked like this. And I've been playing it, and I was like, I can't talk about it. I'm sorry. I've been playing it. I can't talk about it.
I'm lost at sea, and I can't talk to anyone.
Let's talk about the Nintendo Indie World. It won't take long. I'm just going to talk about stuff that popped to me personally. And if you see any descriptions that pop to you, we can talk about that too. But first, I have to talk about Sea of Stars. It was the first thing they showed. It's a new RPG, which is a bit Chrono Trigger-esque. And it's from the people who made The Messenger. And also the composer for the Chrono series, Yasunori Mitsuda, is doing the soundtrack for it. And it's coming out holiday 2022. Which tells me it's coming out in 2023, but that's just because I'm cynical when it comes to comes to these release
yeah,
windows.
I could see that. Yeah, I would imagine if they're lucky, it'll come out in December, probably more like the next year for sure.
But I'm down because it looks really cool, and I love the Messenger. And I love the fact that the studio just didn't go, we're going to make the Messenger too. It's going to be like the Messenger, but more Messenger. They just went, we're going to make an entire game in an entirely different genre.
I love it when any studio does that. It's like, I loved SteamWorld Dig 2,
SteamWorld Dig 2 was a great game.
SteamWorld Dig 2 is a great game. SteamWorld Dig was a kind of a different game in a sense. Like, it built on it, and then, you've got SteamWorld Quest, and it's just like, yeah, fucking go off.
That was great.
Like Shovel Knight King of Cards, like, you know what I mean, just like, or whatever, just like, make different things. Don't just iterate. Don't just, and it's great to iterate, it's great to improve, it's great to sequelize. We all love a solid sequel, but it's like, do new things, enjoy
both.
Fucking you can do both. Exactly. Why don't we have both? ¿Por qué no los dos?
There was also a trailer for, I'll just read the bullet point, a self-described heartfelt story, visual novel / music game. Afterlove EP comes from Pixelnasia, an Indonesian development team. The game is set in Jakarta, which alone makes it unique. The game is about protagonist Rama, who struggles to live his life and make music after his girlfriend passes away, and it launches on Switch in summer 2022. This looks really cool.
Oh my god, I've not even seen it and I want it, but also it's gonna break me, I'm sure. That seems amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Get on that. Oh wow.
It is.
Afterlove EP.
Speaking of breaking me, I did not expect Moonglow Bay to be about what it's about at the first 20 minutes of that game. It's very sad. And it might have made me cry. How do I send? So I found the Steam page so you can actually see the game, but I'm like, I can't minimize the Discord.
Don't worry about it. I'm just going to take a moment. I don't know if you're going to talk about this, but I can't help but address zombie cooking title Dungeon Munchies.
Dungeon Munchies is out now.
Oh, I'm not even a roguelite boy, but if the player character is dead and has been revived by Necro Chef Simmer that tasks him with gathering new ingredients, I'm gonna look into this. This sounds like a hot release. This sounds great. Let's go.
Yeah, it was interesting. Like, I did Google it after I saw it, because I always Google any and it's out right now thing at these press conferences. And I did. I did take it. Before I go on, is there anything that stood out to Moody from this list?
I didn't even know this was on, so don't worry about me.
I love that how Moody's light had dimmed.
Yeah,
Moody's light had
hey,
dimmed.
Moody, wakey, we're still here. No, this is what happens when you delete social media off your phone.
Yeah,
I'm like, Moody.
To be fair, I'm a Nintendo fan and I've reacted to Indie World showcases on Twitch and YouTube before. I did not know this was happening until literally the day before, so don't worry about it.
There were two more things. One of them's not
two more things.
Chicory, A Colorful Tale, one of the best games of 2021, came out on Switch.
Yes, I remember you talking about Chicory, and when I saw that this was a thing, like, it popped up in my YouTube, like trailers, because I'm subscribed to Nintendo, because why the fuck wouldn't I be? I was like, oh damn, I finally get to look at this. I say finally, I could have looked at it later, after you'd mentioned it. Like, that looks, is that genuine? Like a Yeah, I was speaking to a friend who I showed it to them because they were there at the time, and they were like, and they are very much like, they're not super into games in general. Like, this is a very new thing for them, seeing a game like this, because they're like, yep, they're playing The Witcher, they're playing Zelda, they're playing Mario on their Switch. That's kind of it for them. Like, just mainly 3D games, and they were like, oh yeah, I prefer games like this. And I was like, yeah, but actually, like, take a look at this. Like, this is gorgeous. Like, Chicory looks gorgeous. I really liked the I think any games that are about bringing in any form, bringing color back into a black and white world, they've always appealed to me.
It's a wonderful game.
Shout out to The Blob.
The Blob. Wow, that's awesome.
do you remember The Blob?
The Blob.
The Blob was wicked. The Blob was wicked. Very different game, but
yes.
it was pretty.
Chicory's a pretty different game, to be fair.
Yeah.
All right, we got. I want to say as well, Omori, which was the one more thing, which is a highly praised Undertale style game, originally on PC, is launching on Switch next spring. Looks fantastic. It came out on Christmas Day 2020, so I naturally missed it. So I'm going to use the Switch re-release as an excuse to play it.
Yeah. Also, I from Brian Altano on Nintendo voice chat, among other IGN awesomeness. I always heard great things about River City Girls. So to see that River City Girls is way forward, way forward are just a great freaking developer. So to see River City Girls 2 coming out, I think a considering the history of side-scrolling beat 'em ups being Double Dragon. And there's been female characters in other side-scrolling beat 'em ups. It was River City Girls. Let's go. Woo! There you go. And now it's a cat ears beard.
Oh no! I've had an accident.
A little bit.
I mean, again, it was cheap, so Let's move on. Let's bring Moody back into the podcast because we all know Moody hates indie games, so we'll bring him back into the podcast now.
I do. I hate them. I despise them.
Let's talk about stuff.
They're not FIFA. They're not Madden. Battlefield, man.
They're not the next story.
Respect for you for doing that bit, but still refusing to name games made by companies that promote abuse in the workplace. Mad respect for that. We're going to talk about Star Wars now. Speaking of abuse in the workplace, fans.
Sorry, but I just have to say that, I've said it already. EA literally have had the best year of their life because they're not getting talked about whatsoever.
Because they're not.
Previously voted worst game company.
Guys, you keep doing it. You keep being terrible companies. We'll just stay in the corner.
We're just going to very quietly fix our... you got to think, if you're EA right now, you're very, very quietly fixing your corporate workplace culture without trying to get noticed. Yeah. So that this doesn't happen to you.
Yeah.
Let's speaking of shit, fans to boycott Star Wars Eclipse over Quantic Dream's alleged homophobia and racism. This is from Rhiannon Bevan over at The Gamer. And there's a content warning in here because I'm going to use a homophobic slur because David Cage did. So everybody is prepared for that now. If that's not your bag, skip to the next news story. The timestamps are below the video and or on the podcast page on the audio side. Star Wars fans are protesting against Quantic Dream's upcoming game Star Wars Eclipse. Hashtag Blackout Star Wars Eclipse has been trending on Twitter following the game's reveal at the Game Awards, with big figures within the community expressing support for the boycott. The campaign calls on LucasArts to end its partnership with Quantic Dreams due to the company's history of alleged homophobia and racism. These accounts predominantly involve studio founder David Cage, who's been quoted calling women, quote, whores, end quote, and saying, quote, at Quantic Dream, we do not make games for fags, end quote. Hundreds of fans have expressed support for the protest, sharing accounts of Quantic Dream's toxic workplace allegations, as well as Cage's personal bigotry. Most notably, Star Wars author E.K. Johnston supports the hashtag Blackout Star Wars Eclipse movement, saying that fans deserve better. Immensely popular YouTube channel Star Wars Explained has also added to the voices against Quantic Dream's involvement in the franchise. The channel will not be covering the game as long as Cage is involved due to, quote, his disgusting behavior, especially towards women and the queer community, end quote. This has been a common sentiment among fans since the teaser trailer was shown at the Game Awards. The showcase itself attracted criticism for platforming Quantic Dream, especially considering Jeff Keighley's speech at the beginning calling on the industry to treat its workers better. Bigotry is not the only allegation hanging over Cage's head. Quantic Dream is also accused of implementing excessive crunch, up to 35 additional hours per week in the final year of a game's development. The HR department has also been accused of violating French labour laws, terminating contracts before they were set to expire. The instances of sexism also appear to bleed into the workplace culture, as some workers have reported photoshopped images of staff as porn stars and Nazis being posted across the office.
I hope something does happen. There's no doubt about it when it comes to this. David Cage is a disgusting person in general, even though I won't lie. I have enjoyed the Quantic Dream games. I won't deny that. I hope something does happen, like I say, but you don't want to be speaking to LucasArts. Obviously, you need to go to Disney. Disney are the overlords of them, and you need to speak to them to really try and get something to change or something like that.
I'll say it for you because I know you look like you're conflicted, and I don't think anything will come of a boycott of this discussed boycott of Star Wars Eclipse. Like, I don't think they're going to take Quantic Dream off the game. I don't think any of that's going to happen. Go on. Sorry.
I'm not conflicted on that one. I was just about to say what you just said there. So go on.
No, it's fine. I just wanted to say
they're not going to like boycotts never happen.
I mean,
people say
boycotts happen.
People boycott it, but not to the numbers where it makes it bad enough for the company to say, "Oh shit, we should have listened after all," or anything like that. It doesn't do anything. It really doesn't, and it's a shame because if boycotts actually did work properly, freaking Activision would probably be a better company by now. Ubisoft would be a better company by now.
That'll be nice.
The idiots in charge of those bloody companies would be sacked by now, and everything. But they aren't, and it's the same goes for this place as well. Like
I didn't put this in because I wanted to draw attention to the boycott or anything. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to play Star Wars Eclipse. I fucking hate Quantic Dream games for starters anyway. But like, I put it in there because a lot of people because this is old news. Like, this stuff about Quantic Dream and David Cage. This is from the me and Keith era of the Words About Games podcast. Like, we covered this extensively. When all of this stuff started coming out, and so Star Wars, so Jeff Keighley goes, "Hey, abuse in the games industry is bad. Let's check out what David Cage has been up to." And a lot of people have forgotten about all of this, and it's very disappointing to see so many people just uncritically be like, "Yeah, Quantic Dream is great." Nope, sorry to burst your bubble. That they're not that great. And I'm not even dissing their games. If you like their games, you like their games, and that's fine. Like their games all you want. I'm talking about the company, and one of the people at the top of the company is a horrible, terrible human being. That was why I put this in there. But it'd be nice if boycotts did work.
Yeah,
but they don't. Nice. And it's purple. Love it.
I love Star Wars. My name is Joe motherfucking Med-Force. The Force is strong with me, and it's strong with anyone who takes a stand about the fact that there should not fucking be discrimination, bigotry, homophobia, transphobia, racism, any of this shit. Anything adjacent to it does not belong in fucking Star Wars. Please. Just. Ugh. Hold on. I'm going to turn this off because it's obnoxious. It's good for a bit, but it's not about a bit. Let's not have massive a Ubisoft studio headed by a horrible person making an open world Star Wars game. Let's not have Quantic Dream, a studio headed by a person who doesn't belong in the games industry anymore, making games about people and stories that need to and have always, in one form or another, been a beacon of hope and optimism the spark inside so many of us. I at one point was like, oh my god, yeah, we're not gonna have a terrible company, EA, having dominion over, bad Star Wars games. I was hopeful for like a brief shining moment, and I was thinking, oh, maybe they'll do the Marvel games thing of like, maybe we'll get, the and to be fair, even though it wasn't for me, a lot of people loved Jedi Fallen Order. That's what we like. That's what we like. A new story being told, a single player Star Wars game that is, inspired by freaking Dark Souls and isn't, plagued with microtransactions or made by people who should have no reason or right going anywhere near this. Star Wars has been around for a long fucking time, and it will continue to be around for a long fucking time. It's an Empire Strikes Back poster
I saw it.
that I got that I got framed and I got given to me as like a birthday present when I was a teenager by a French exchange family when I was staying in goddamn France, and then I later got it framed. Like, that's been in my life forever. Like, I think that it's such a shame that, and you're both right. Yeah,
I have a Star Wars Funko.
yes, exactly. but you're both right. Unfortunately, boycotts don't do it because it's too late at this point. It's that, again, that they'll have seen that like Detroit Become Human was a successful game. Oh, it's a game about robots. Sure, let's get these people to make a Star War. Please, just I want to play Star Wars games. I would love to fucking play Star Wars games. I'd love to stream Star Wars games and talk about Star Wars streams without wanting to be fucking sad about it. Like, it's such, yeah, yeah.
I hadn't thought about your point about, hey, EA is a terrible company and they don't have Star Wars like exclusive Star Wars anymore, and then they've given it to other terrible companies.
Yeah, it's like, and again, and it's just as we're saying with this one, the amount of people who were like, yay, Star Wars Eclipse coming from Quantic Dream. Yeah, when there's not been an official announcement of what the Ubisoft massive entertainment Star Wars game is going to really be, apart from like an open world Star Wars game. But it's like, I don't want to go anywhere near it when they literally, like, you look up the chief exec or whoever he is of fucking Massive Entertainment, and he's embroiled in the scandal at Ubisoft. People don't want him there. He shouldn't be there, but he is. He's still the head of this fucking studio. It's like, no, I'm not going to play this game until I know that it is not tainted by any one person who doesn't care about the people actually making the game. Pure and simple.
It's not about that the companies or anything like that. What it is that boycotts don't work because Star Wars is one of those brands, just like I called out when it came to those 3 games who were top of the table when it came to best-selling games. This one for November is the Star Wars is name itself brings people's attention gets to it. Like, the casuals go, "What? Wait, the new Star Wars? I didn't know the new Star Wars was coming," or anything like that, because they don't pay attention to that. And that's what I'm saying when it comes to boycotts. Yep. Because the casuals will not know about this thing. And no offense, it's not the casuals' fault. It's not about that they don't know about this. It's the industry in itself, the journalism and all like that, who aren't shouting from the rooftops, screaming, "This is a company you should not be supporting," or anything like that. And until that start properly happening, which will not start properly happening. Like, yeah, shout out to like Star Wars Explained. They have like I think 1 million subscribers. They're like a big ass Star Wars site who will do amazing content when it comes to Star Wars. But at the same time, like that content creators don't have people. I think forget sometimes they think content creators have the greatest power of all. They don't have much power at all.
Oh, you know.
They have zero power.
Especially since the moment that if they choose to do so, Star Wars Explained makes a video explaining why they won't be talking about Quantic Dream and the Star Wars game that's coming out. The algorithm is probably not going to be kind to it.
Like because games in Roblox.
Yeah, exactly, and it's just the I'm just tired.
It can't be just Star Wars Explained. It needs to be a collective tag team to do this, and that's never going to happen.
And it's not, and unfortunately, again, it's all too little, too late, because unfortunately, unless we all manage to guarantee that when Star Wars Eclipse comes out, it's going to sell zero. That's the only message they're going to get at that point, right? And it's like, actually, we just want to see these changes happen before. It's like, you know what? If you could guarantee that there was no toxic workplace culture at Quantic Dream and David Cage was nowhere to be fucking seen, yeah, I'd give Star Wars Eclipse a go. Of course I would.
Yeah.
I give it a go. I've never played a Quantic Dream game before. Maybe I don't know if they're for me or not. That doesn't matter. It's like, actually, there's good people at these studios. There's great people at Ubisoft. That's great people that's why we care. It's just like, unfortunately, it's all these fuckers who rise at the top and wield their power in horrible ways. The reason we're not going to engage with this.
Yeah, like if Activision and Blizzard and Ubisoft and Quantic Dream were like just toxic, full of toxic people all the way down, we wouldn't be talking about it. We care because there are a lot of great people who work at these companies, and we want them to be able to work without fearing abuse, harassment, and everything else that we've talked about throughout 2021. But that's what you said there, Moody, was it's going to take all of us. You're right, it is going to take all of us. And that's kind of been my point with it, putting this news story in today. And with the things I've said and you've said right there by my side throughout the entire year, which is just like, but the problem is that nobody's talking about it. Like, not nobody, very few people are talking about it. Like, I was watching the Game Awards live. I saw Twitter's reaction to Star Wars Eclipse. Like, you can't hide from it. Like, I was watching everybody, all of these content creators with huge platforms that could potentially, if they all spoke out about this at some point, actually say something about it, choose not to. It's like the thing we talked about when we talked about PlayStation being sued for gender discrimination a few weeks ago. I mean, nobody talked about it. Nobody fucking talked about it. Joe's got a puzzled look on his face. I don't even think he heard about it. Like,
no. No. My thing is that if my profile picture is me with a fucking purple lightsaber dressed in a goddamn Jedi robe. If I can actually flick that switch in my brain and be like, oh my god, new Star Wars game? Oh, it's made by a company that is still headed by a despicable person who should not be there, who doesn't actually represent the values of something that I hold dear and I identify with. Yeah. The kind of person who I don't know. I'm not even going to fucking speculate, but it's like, the kind of person who potentially was in those YouTube comments when the Force Awakens teaser came out and was like, Black Stormtrooper. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. It's just like, no, that's not what this is about.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I can look past this, and I might not play a new Star Wars game for the next few years. You know what? I'll probably give Jedi Fallen Order 2 a go. But that's it. Yeah, like it's and if I can hold off, it's like, if I and actually if I can, and unfortunately because I've had a lot of other stuff going on, I didn't watch the Game Awards. And I've
Good.
not
You didn't
been
need to.
using. No, I didn't need
You
to.
did not
But
need
like,
to watch the Game Awards. I
I've
did.
not been. I appreciate so much that Amy, Moody, you're both using any platform you have to speak out against this shit. Like, it's just like, it is shit, and it sucks to talk about it, and it brings us all down. But it's like, you know what? I really, really wish that everybody would do that, and that everybody would just say like, yeah, I still love Star Wars. I'm always gonna love Star Wars, but I'm not gonna love when something that I adore is being handled by anyone who doesn't who shouldn't be allowed to have it. It shouldn't be allowed, basically.
Pretty much. So yeah, just to bring it home for this, and then we'll move on to the final segment of the podcast. It's not about whether you play the game or not. It's about how you talk about the game, right? You can be excited for Star Wars Eclipse while also mentioning all of this, and that's where I
Porque no
land
les
on that.
dos? Porque no les dos? Why don't we have both? Right?
Why not both?
Why not both?
That's, I think, the ultimate thing is that, like, me and Amy, like, we talk about all this shit, and it's like, I think we would be a lot more happier if the industry talked about it.
This needs to be an industry conversation.
Yeah.
It needs to be an ongoing conversation.
We're a podcast with very small views, and like, if we're the only ones really talking about it, the biggest person I know who speaks about it is Jim Stephanie Sterling.
Yes,
and they can only do so much.
Yeah.
And if James Stephanie Sterling with, I can't recall off the top of my head. Actually, let's just go in on it very briefly. They have
under 1 million subscribers. They've lost a lot of subscribers.
Yeah.
They did a video about it.
Exactly. Correctly. Yeah, exactly. So at the moment, 850k subscribers, which is probably more than we will cumulatively ever see, right?
Undoubtedly.
Because they've been.
They've
been around.
You're gonna pop off at some point, I'm sure.
It doesn't matter about that. Seriously, when they've been around for as long as they have, and unfortunately, they're blacklisted, they're ignored, it's not easy. It's not easy to keep these conversations going, but that doesn't
mean we shouldn't try.
Sometimes we have to make the choice.
Sometimes we have to have the grown-up conversations.
Yep, and I think they should continue to be had by everyone who has the platform to have them. Couldn't be in more agreement with you, Amy. Definitely.
Let's move on.
Yes.
To games out this week. There aren't any. It's Christmas week. Sorry, Moody.
Why are you apologizing to me?
Your part of the podcast is over.
Let's
move on from that to OpenCritic head-to-head. This is the game myself, Moody, and whoever else is present plays every week, where we try to guess the OpenCritic average of one upcoming game. Whoever guesses closest to the score gets a point. If you manage to guess the score correctly, you get 2 points. Last week, Moody and I were tied 23-23 with one game left. It was like the Formula One Championship. And at least it's ended.
Controversial.
At least it's ended better than the Formula One World Championship.
Amy, I would like the safety car to come out. I would like the cars in front of you, between you and me, to go past you, so it's a one-way fight between me and you on the final lap.
Oh yeah, but like my tires are like 40 laps old, Moody. I don't know if that's really a fair fight.
I'm using my fresh tires.
I feel like that's just gonna let you win automatically. Like,
well, I don't care.
I'm still salty. It's been a week and I hate it so much. But anyway, yes, we were tied 23-23, and last week we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of the gunk. Moody, you guessed it would get a 76. Avril, who was here at the time, guessed it would get an 89. And I guessed it would get a 69 because I thought, hey, fuck it. Why take this seriously now? I haven't taken it seriously all year. Why bother starting in the last week? At the time of recording, the Gunk has an OpenCritic average of 72, which means that Amy gets the point. The current scores and final scores for 2021, Amy 24, Moody 23, everybody else who's been on the podcast 18, and 2 draws, which means that Amy is the 2021 champion.
What? By a hair,
but I'll take it. We've swapped championships.
And you should have said 75. If we said 75, I would have won by champion's advantage. By a time.
We swapped championships.
I see.
It softens the blow somewhat that the game I was taken seriously, I lost. But at least the game I wasn't taken seriously, I won. So.
All right, I don't know the breakdown based on this, but did I get kind of close to the Pokemon?
You got Pokemon completely correct. You got 2 points for that on the dot.
Wait, was I exactly right?
You're exactly right. Yeah.
I can't even remember what I scored it.
70 something. Yeah. 78.
You said 78, right?
You got it completely correct.
I haven't even played that fucking game. I've not purchased it.
I'm not going to be honest. I haven't played 2/3 of the game that I guessed. So.
I'm well happy with that. If anyone doubts my Nintendo credibility, I don't even need to play the game to guess the OpenCritic.
Point them to this moment in the podcast.
Look at it. I know my Nintendo.
Me and Moody have played this game more or less every week for 2 years. And Joe Medfors guessed the Pokemon OpenCritic average correctly. Point them at
one and done. That's a hole in one on Mario Golf Super
100%.
Rush, baby.
That's it. That's 2021. We did it. That's a wrap.
Congratulations.
It's been a year.
Oh, it's been a year.
It's been one hell of a fucking year. Like, on a personal level, some really great things have happened to me, and some really terrible things have happened. From this podcast perspective, this year has been fucking trash fire.
Hey, you're still doing the things though, and to still be doing anything this far into the ongoing global pandemonium, panorama, whatever you want to call it, I just want to take a moment to seriously, like, honestly, anything, a weekly video game news show, you're doing the most. It's fantastic.
I texted Amy this morning and she said, "How you doing?" And I said, "I've got the last podcast of the year to go." And I said, "I'm really excited because Joe's going to be there for it, and I really liked the last time you were on, but it feels like I'm crawling towards the finish line across broken glass." Like, that was the metaphor I used.
I know that feeling, and I think that something that we have all, whether you record video game content or stream or make videos or whatever, I'm kind of right there. Like, I heard news of like 2 bands which I saw in the past month live in music venues, both cancelling their future tour dates because of fucking COVID. Like, either bandmates or people of the touring party got COVID, or it was like, one of the bands, all the support acts pulled out because of COVID fears or getting COVID, and it's like. And for anyone listening who's like, "Oh my god, you went to fucking concerts," it's like, vaccine passports were initiated. If you didn't have a vaccine passport, you had to display a lateral flow, like PCR test or whatever. Like, everyone was safe. I made sure I wore my mask, all that sort of stuff.
You don't strike me as a not sensible guy.
Exactly, yeah. Responsibility was exercised, but it's just like, here we go again, unfortunately. But that means that still doing anything is fantastic. So And thank you, and thank you again for having me on for it. Seriously,
Yeah.
it's been great.
Before I give it over to you, Moody, to let you wrap up 2021 with some words of positivity, I just want to say thank you, Joe, for joining us for this podcast. It was a pleasure to meet you the first time, and it's been a pleasure to continue podcasting you again.
And there'll be a first time where we actually eventually, hopefully
after the apocalypse,
hopefully in 2022. Electric Boogaloo. I didn't come up with that one. That's Craig Fox, aka Fox of the Future, from my recent Twitch chat. It was like, it sounds like the bad sequel to 2020.
I've
we're gonna do it. Well, and
we'll
also, if you're listening and you're still here in 2021, going into 2022, I just want to take a moment to raise a glass to you, to Amy, to Daffyd, who's gonna wind us down with some words of wisdom after Amy said.
I just need to say one more thing, because I want to thank you, Moody, for being here all the way through the year. Because, like, I'm gonna say this to our little group of Among Us and Phasmophobia buddies, like, to say, like, they got me through this year, but, like, you especially helped get me through this year, because you've just been there for me the entire year, no matter what. So I wanted to say that to you, like, while I've got you here, while I'm recording it on a video. No malice, no sarcasm, no shade. You've been there for me the entire year, and it's been a rough year for both of us, and I appreciate you for that, and I love you for that. Thank you.
I'm so.
You had to really you fucking bastard. I hate you so much.
You are, I think it's fair to say, you're one of my best friends. You're one of my closest people I know. Apart from my partner and my family, you know more about me and what's happened to this year and what I've gone through. And you've held me up just like everyone else has. So I thank you for that. And I love you for that as well. So.
All right,
I'm now gonna say the positive thing to get out of it.
Let's get out of here. Hit it one last time in 2021.
The sun just touched the morning. The morning's happy thing. Suppose that he had come to dwell, and life would be all spring. Have a Merry Christmas, everybody, and have a Happy New Year. Let's kick 2022's ass in a good way.
Yes,
let's do it.
And I'm gonna just take a brief moment to take. I don't know if you know John Green of the Vlogbrothers, Fault in Our Stars author. He did a thing from a friend of his, and this was actually sung in the trenches of World War One. It's the lines to the tune of Auld Lang Syne. We're here because we're here, because we're here, because we're here. We're here because we're here, because we're here, because we're here. And it's always brought me comfort in times like these. Just the idea that we're here and we all still are, and that's something to be grateful and appreciative for. In these, yeah, it's fucking hard.
I get it. But it's hard.
Yeah.
But that's a wrap. Yeah. That's a wrap on 2021.
Yes.
We're done. We'll see you next year. Thanks for joining us. January 10th, we'll be back talking about cool video games with cool people. Until then, say bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
May the force be with you.
I can finally take these cat ears off.
Yes. We'll take them off. May the med force be with you too.